There are poets laureate all over the nation, from city-level poets laureate to regional poets laureate, state-level poet laureates, and we even have a national poet laureate as well, the United States Poet Laureate. Our job is to serve the place where we're appointed as kind of an ambassador to the arts in general, and especially to the literary arts. The way I see it is that it's my job to bring poetry into public spaces, to bring poetry around people who may not otherwise encounter it or may not otherwise think about it, and to ensure that everyone has an opportunity to encounter and be changed by poetry in the way that I was when I was younger. When I first became Dallas Poet Laureate, I knew right away that I wanted to somehow work in public art and bring poetry together with public art. I've been able to do that through my work with the Office of Arts and Culture. And what excites me about the Sidewalk Poetry Project is the fact that even though we're not the very first people to ever stamp poems into sidewalks, we will be the first people who've invented a form specially for our city, one that anyone can write and take part in, and that we will be bringing poems from everyday folks throughout Dallas onto these sidewalks. We're not just looking for famous dead poets' work. We want the work of people who are writing here, now. Everyone who's interested, we want them to be part of this project.
One path, many dreams, high hopes, forever soar. Big D, bold, grand dreams.
Your future starts here. Opportunity knows your name. Find your true path.
Dallas awakens big dreamers. A city never sleeping.
The Bellum, Bishop Arts. Downtown Dallas, city's heart.
Night air feels alive. Not your father's Dallas. Rooftop views, street cafe.
New life, fresh start. It could begin now. Dallas wakes, never rests.
Right away, we knew when we began working on the Sidewalk Poetry Project that we probably should have some kind of form to work with to make sure that there was some kind of consistency among the poems that we feature, and to make sure they would fit on the sidewalks. I was really excited to have the opportunity to invent a form for that purpose, and I did want to make sure that it was something everyone could have access to. You don't need to be a poetry scholar. You don't need to really know much about this techniques and conventions of poetry in order to write a 2-1 form poem. So I've called the form 2-1 form in honor of Dallas's original area code and the holiday that we now celebrate, 214 Day on Valentine's Day. And the conventions are very simple. The first would be there are 2 groups of lines. In poetry, we call those stanzas. And in between those groups of lines, there is 1 empty line of space in between. Each group of lines should include 4 lines total and should include 4 words in each line. So you have 2 different groups of lines, 4 lines in each one, a total of 8 lines altogether. And in each one of those lines, 4 words. I had the opportunity to take part in the inaugural 214 Day celebration at Dallas City Hall this year, and that was really where I found a moment of inspiration. I realized, you know, in poetry we have metrics, we work with numbers, we often count things like syllables, and I thought I can make this work in a much more accessible way. Instead of counting the meter of a poem, or instead of counting particular syllables, we can just count the number of lines and the number of words, and we can make it connect with Dallas and be meaningful in that way.
Trinity River, waters flow. White rock gently weaves. Small creeks feed purpose. Dreams find nurturing grace. Currents lead to growth. Channels nurture every start. Deep City embraces souls. Future's endless stream grows.
And one of the biggest ways is that poetry brings people together. From the very beginning of human history, we've turned to poetry as a way of grieving together, celebrating together. And I think it does help us to understand that the world is complex and it's nuanced. And at the same time, it doesn't always have to be the way it is. We're powerful people. Humans can change the world, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. And I think poetry reminds us not to have a failure of imagination. Anything is possible, and we should keep that in mind and use that power for good.
Young trees sprout new leaves in the park, while small kids raise their hands in classrooms. Growth takes many shapes here, and everyone knows that hope is just another name for home.